I have philosophical questions to you. Could you tell me what personality does Ben have? Like, we don't know his past, so we see him already living this life in the forest. What was happening before? How he came up with being in the forest?
I think he and his wife Leslie. You know, I mean, you wrote it. You give a better answer. But my impression is that they both made a conscious decision that this would be the best place to live and the best place to give their children the best possible start in life. And by making this choice, they gave up a lot of things. They gave up their careers. They gave up making a living in a way. They gave up society, you know, with their people, which later comes to be a problem in the story for the kids that he hadn't thought about maybe as a father enough. And so, yeah, no, I think it was intentional.
I think that he said it very well. The only thing I would add is that it was important to me that they weren't broken emotionally. They weren't leaving society because they couldn't function in society.
It was a positive choice.
They were choosing to another path, and it wasn't a rejection of, you know, or that it wasn't that they were fumbling and couldn't make a living, or that they weren't emotionally capable of having a job or any of these things. They were highly functioning people, but they chose to a different path, you know. And there are some clues to that, to the transition in the script, in the film. Catherine Hahn and Steve Zahn, she plays his sister and Steve Zahn plays the husband, and they ask him about where you live and you know, and where did you come to live? How did you come to live where you are? And he says, well, we had some land and we sold the land, and there's clues to what his past was like, logistically, maybe not, you know, in terms of what you're asking, like what his career was. It says what in the funeral. When she is eulogized by a priest, the priest mentions that she was a lawyer. So there's some clues to who they were.
There's a scene at the restaurant where Viggo's character says that no actual food, right? What about you? How do you avoid bad food, and what do you eat in general?
I'm generally pretty healthy, although once in a while it's fun to have something that's...
Sure.
I mean, I guess the thing, my sort of, what do you call it, guilty pleasure, it's not even guilty, actually. I feel pretty good about it. But is to have chocolate. I eat a lot of chocolate every day.
Dark chocolate's supposed to be very good. Antioxidants.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Health nut, all the way.
Yeah.
Organic, not organic. Do you believe in, or you think it's marketing here in US?
No. I think organic is important, but I think even more important is local. And that certainly industrial farming, generally speaking, is not a positive thing. That making produce with chemicals is not good for both the environment, for the ground, nor for our bodies. But I think even more important maybe is when you go to a farmer's market, in the United States at least, and that some food is not certified organic, but they're participating in organic practices, and then also it's local, and those things are very important.
Where you live.
Yeah.
I see. Children all over the world obsessed by gadgets. How parents should stop them from being obsessed? How to become deep thinkers?
I think it's a balance. I think that as adults, it's difficult, as you say, to navigate these devices. The internet is addictive. Our smartphones are addictive. There's a lot of wonderful things that come from them. You can call someone. There's a map on it. It's a tool like any other tool, and you need to navigate it. So I try and teach my children moderation. They can use it, but they also need to read, and they need to spend time in the world, actually being present and doing physical things.
Viggo, what do you think?
I agree with that. I think everything in balance.
Yeah,
I mean, the movie is about that, not just about, you know, iPhones and video games, but emotions, physical tests, isolation. Some of that is good. Learning to be able to survive on your own in the woods is good, but to have absolutely no contact with other people, especially for kids who are forming or becoming people, adults, young people, there's a risk there. You can go too far. So I think in moderation is finding a balance, and tomorrow may be different than today. You have to adjust. You can't have a rigid idea. We are only going to do this. We're only going to talk about these subjects. We're only going to live here by ourselves. I think the story moves along and you realize, you have to make changes. You have to adapt.
Okay, thank you so much.